Very big news, obviously, today out of Brussels, although it does leave Theresa May very much in the same position that she's been in all along, doesn't it? What do you think the chances are of third time a charm for this deal getting through the UK Parliament?
No, I think the probability of that is extremely low, which is basically what the EU other 27 member leaders recognize, and that's why they presented Theresa May with a plan B of what will happen when, in their opinion, her deal fails again. Because I think it's very clear, if you're a hardline Brexiteer, you're going to vote against Theresa May's deal again, because this is your best hope of getting a no-deal Brexit and certainly, get the kind of Brexit that you want. But I have to say, it's extraordinary what happened today, because it basically means that not a single date in this process that this British government wanted was first. They wanted initially to leave on March 29th. Well, that's not going to happen. Then earlier this week, Theresa May requested an extension to June 30th. And again, the EU said, yeah, thank you, but no thanks. We will decide what will happen. I mean, the diplomatic humiliation of the British government is extraordinary. I think you have to go back very far to find a nuclear-armed power that has conducted itself in such a shambolic manner.
Well, given the fate of this exit deal on the two previous occasions has come before the House, if you were a betting man, what odds would you put on a no-deal Brexit right now?
No, I mean, I continue to believe that the odds of a no-deal Brexit remain very low. As much as I believe that it is overwhelmingly likely that Theresa May's deal fails next week, I think very cleverly by the EU, they have given the British Parliament a few extra days to take control over these proceedings and find an alternative path to pass the withdrawal agreement, because that's really what the EU wants. They're interested in the withdrawal agreement. They don't care about the broader Theresa May agreement. They want the withdrawal agreement passed, and then they presumably would like to talk with an alternative majority in the British Parliament about a new political declaration and quite likely a softer Brexit. And they have declared that this is they have given themselves and the British Parliament time to develop such a path.
Does that mean that we'll eventually have to get to those indicative votes that the Prime Minister has rejected so far?
Yeah, I can't imagine that we will, if her deal fails next week, which, as I said, I regard as overwhelmingly likely. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance that this will not happen, because if her deal fails, I would certainly argue that something like the Cooper or Benn style amendment that basically takes away control of the parliamentary process from the government will pass. And if that happens, then indicative votes certainly will happen. In fact, binding votes are likely to happen on deals that are very different than the ones Theresa May wishes to put forward. And then, I mean, the only real question then becomes, will Theresa May continue to suffer the indignity of this and remain as Prime Minister or not?
Yeah, she has acknowledged that she knows that MPs are frustrated too. So I wonder what's the future holding for the Prime Minister, because we have seen these reports from the Telegraph as well that Chairman Brady, in fact, talked to her about the MPs wanting her to resign.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that her time as Prime Minister is, the days are numbered. And I would certainly venture to say that she will not remain Prime Minister maybe more than 24 hours after Brexit eventually happens. This will be part of the political package that pushes such an outcome, because she has clearly lost the confidence of a majority of the House of Parliament. And when that happens, you can only remain prime minister for a relatively short time, and that time is up, in my opinion, once Brexit happens.
Jacob, we do have to remember, though, that it was just back in December that Theresa May survived a vote by her own MPs with a pretty healthy 83-vote margin. So do you think the winds of change have changed direction that much in the intervening few months?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the case. I mean, I think that you know, basically the fact that she's probably very grateful that her opponents called that vote back in December, because otherwise they would surely have called one in recent days. Now she is in principle master of her own destiny, at least within the Conservative Party, until December. Obviously, she can be pushed out by a formal vote of no confidence in Parliament against her. But I think that's probably not likely to happen, at least not until the withdrawal agreement has been passed, in my opinion, and Brexit likely actually implemented. But so in that sense, she remains in some ways master of her own political fate. She decides to some extent when she resigns. But as I said, I think in reality, she doesn't have more time than the Brexit process itself. Then she will have to make way for a new leader and quite likely also new elections.
We have heard from the French president as well, Emmanuel Macron, saying that there can be no ambiguity about EU elections. And of course, they're coming up, and Britain really doesn't want to participate in them, but they may end up having to. What are your prospects here?
No, I mean, I think if it turns out that, you know, the UK, basically, if the UK by April 12th tells the EU that we would like to participate in European elections, then there's no doubt that the EU will grant the UK a lengthy extension because then a second referendum, in my opinion, will be in the cards. And what this will mean is that essentially that the Remain supporting majority that exists in the British Parliament have essentially decided to ignore the referendum. They might just as well revoke Article 50 right away, because that is what it will mean. There is no way that the UK holds or participates in the European elections and doesn't revoke Brexit one way or another after that. And I think that's basically also what President Macron is saying.